Once upon a time, my nephew approached me with a heartfelt request. Never did I foresee that this tangled tale would come to light. YouTube, https www.youtube.com. Watch v equals underscore j5 4. Transcript 0 o'clock. For some reason, I believed it was merely another ordinary afternoon. On that day, a serene stillness enveloped the world, as if time itself had paused to breathe in the tranquility. After a long day at work, weariness enveloped me, prompting the decision to indulge in a soothing, warm bath. The warm water enveloped me, and the steam transformed the small bathroom into a cozy sanctuary, a haven of comfort and safety. 022. Little did I know that, in mere moments, everything I knew would be completely transformed. In the stillness of the house, an unsettling silence hung in the air. The faint murmur of the television drifted in from the next room, where my sister Timmy's mom was likely engrossed in her beloved show. For a few days, my nephew Timmy had taken up residence with me. He often embodies the essence of a gentle spirit, a boy of few words yet filled with goodness. 043. He was undeniably kind, yet there lingered an elusive quality about him that stirred a subtle unease within me, one I couldn't quite identify. As I settled further into the bath, the soothing warmth enveloped me, easing the tension in my muscles. With my eyes gently shut, I released a deep, resonant sigh. After a tumultuous week, I yearned for a moment of respite, a chance to escape and let the weight of the world slip away. 1:05. But the moment I closed my eyes, a gentle rustling from next door caught my attention. In the beginning, it seemed rather unremarkable to me. At first, I dismissed it as the house settling or a mere draft whispering through the windows. But then the sound returned, echoing in the stillness. A soft footfall echoed, as if someone were stealthily approaching the bathroom. I stood still, my ears straining to catch every sound as my heart raced in my chest. 1:27. The bathroom door was securely locked, ensuring that no one could simply stroll in. Wouldn't you agree? Suddenly, the footsteps grew louder, and I could hear the unmistakable sound of the door knob turning. It churned my insides. Who graced the scene? Could it be Joey, the one whose tales weave through the fabric of our lives? I called out to him, yet silence lingered in the air. A moment of hesitation lingered as I contemplated the choice between waiting and crossing the threshold into the unknown. 1:49. The suspense was unbearable. The water, once a gentle balm, now felt constricting as my thoughts surged like a tempest. Were they the subjects of a prank, or was there a far more sinister force at play? To 10. A shiver coursed through me. But what was the reason behind his whispering? He had never resonated with such brilliance before. My heart raced and I fought to remain grounded, calm, despite the sudden weight of the atmosphere pressing down around me. That was the knowledge I sought. At long last, I broke free. What troubles you, Timmy? Despite the tremor in my voice following a lengthy silence, he found the courage to speak up. I require your presence. To 41. His tone lacked the innocent curiosity typical of a child making a request. Instead, it was more urgent and almost imploring, even as I drew in a deep breath. My fingers gripped the porcelain tightly as I clung to the edge of the tub. Were my thoughts spiraling into chaos, or had Timmy's demeanor taken a turn for the darker? Step inside, I invited after a brief moment of silence. 3:05. As I pivoted, there he was, framed in the doorway, his petite silhouette swallowed by the brilliance behind him. With a gentle creak, the door began to part, revealing the secrets that lay beyond. I recognized that familiar sweetness in my nephew, yet there was an unsettling glimmer in his eyes that hinted at something amiss. There was a shadowy quality to them, as if he were concealing a secret within their depths. I blinked, caught in a moment of uncertainty, wondering if fatigue was clouding my thoughts or if my mind was simply wandering too far. 3:27 yet. As he approached, I noticed something that sent a shiver down my spine. His face contorted, not with mirth, but in a manner that was entirely unique and unfamiliar. Aunt Timmy whispered softly, her words barely escaping her lips. Just when I believed you would catch on, he inched nearer to the rim of the tub. In the midst of your bustling life, I find myself yearning for your presence at this very moment. 3:50. His voice carried an unsettling weight, and the meaning behind his words eluded comprehension. A wave of nausea washed over me, for that boy was neither my cousin nor the familiar face I once knew. This was no mere child's play. A whisper from within urged action, yet my body remained still, frozen in place. As Timmy leaned in closer, his fingers brushed against my shoulder, and his breath, icy and sharp, sent a shiver racing down my spine. I wanted to push him away, but I couldn't, he remarked, his voice carrying an unexpected calmness and steadiness. For 19, the anticipation has been building for what feels like an eternity. I won't allow you to leave just yet. The atmosphere was thick with tension, making each breath feel like a struggle. What was unfolding? What could have prompted Timmy to behave in such a manner? Was he engaging in a playful ruse, or had he truly transformed? In that moment, I found it challenging to maintain my composure. As fear and confusion swirled within me, a shadow loomed over the scene, hinting at a deep-seated unease that lingered in the air. For 42, to find my escape, I knew I had to step out of the bathroom. Though my body urged me to rise and flee, I found myself frozen in place. Timmy drew closer, his face mere inches from mine, as his icy fingers pressed firmly against my arm. He uttered it once more, his voice barely a breath. My heart longs to be near you. There was an eerie quality to his voice that sent a shiver down my spine. 5:08. His words flowed like a mesmerizing melody, yet they lacked the embrace of affection or warmth. Instead, there was an unusual tranquility that felt utterly perplexing. In that instant, it dawned on me that this was no ordinary family moment. It transcended the simple joys of childhood and the bonds of family love. This was a far more troubling affair. My mind was a whirlwind of questions, each one vying for attention. 5:31. What brought about such a swift transformation in him? What tale was unfolding within him? Is it possible that I overlooked something important that was right in front of me? In the midst of my attempts to unravel the chaos, a chilling realization crept in. What if I was destined to remain in the dark, forever grasping at shadows of understanding? In a world where logic seemed to take a back seat, the unfolding events and Timmy's peculiar antics left everyone puzzled, as if the very fabric of reason had unraveled before their eyes. 5:50. My mind raced with the chilling realization that the boy I once knew had vanished, leaving behind a shadowy figure that was utterly unrecognizable. Timothy's fingers wrapped around my wrist, holding on tightly, as if afraid to release their grasp. His grip grew increasingly firm, leaving me unable to escape. In the grip of fear and confusion, my instincts lay dormant, urging me to escape the unseen force that held me captive. Yet I remained paralyzed, aware that freedom was essential. 6:16. I softly uttered, "Please," yet my voice trembled. "What tales do you have in store? What is it that you seek?" Yet he remained silent, his gaze locked onto mine, filled with an icy resolve. At that moment, it became evident that he had no intention of releasing me from his grasp. I struggled to break free from his hold, yet there was an enchantment in Timmy's gaze that ensnared me. as if he had woven a spell around my very being. 6:39 My heart raced, urging me to flee from the moment. In the depths of my mind, I wrestled with thoughts, searching for an escape. The atmosphere weighed heavily around me, stifling and oppressive, while Timmy lingered, a constant presence in my struggle. He leaned in close, his voice barely above a murmur, "You're not going anywhere." His voice resonated with a depth that sent shivers down my spine. As his hand rested on my arm, it began to ascend gradually, as though he were gauging my reaction to his touch. 7:03 A surge of emotion welled up inside me, urging me to shout and shove him aside. Yet the words remained trapped, refusing to escape my lips. What could possibly drive him to take such actions? Where has the tender-hearted lad gone who once gazed up at me with admiration? Once upon a time, there was a boy named Timmy who was known for his kindness, shyness, and a curious spirit that yearned to explore the wonders of the world around him. Yet, it appeared as though an unseen force had seized control of him. 7:24 As the bathroom door let out its familiar squeak, I spun around, half expecting to find my sister lurking nearby. Yet, the hallway lay empty and the faint sound of footsteps drifted from a distance, barely audible, like whispers carried on the wind. In that moment, we found ourselves as the last remnants, the sole survivors of a fading tale. It was clear that time was of the essence. I made another attempt to shove Timmy's hand aside, yet he proved to be more powerful than I had anticipated. 7:46 His grip tightened, sending a wave of panic coursing through me. The warm water once wrapped me in comfort, but now it felt as though I was being pulled under. Lost in its depths, Timmy drew closer, his icy breath brushing against my neck as he spoke in a hushed, unsettling tone. "From this moment onward, you belong to me, just as you always have." I've been anticipating your realization of his words. 8:09 A chill ran down my spine, and it loomed above me like a dark, oppressive cloud. The game had transformed, evolving beyond the realm of childhood innocence. It was a shadowy presence, lurking with an air of peril. A breath caught in my throat as a whirlwind of ideas surged through my mind. He wielded no influence over my spirit. I found myself in a struggle, resisting the urge to yield. Yet, what tale was unfolding within him? Upon his visage, I searched for a trace of the nephew I once cherished. The boy who reveled in laughter and play, who eagerly sought the magic of bedtime tales. 8:38 Yet, what stood before me was nothing more than a distant, unfeeling figure. My mind wandered to the small shampoo bottle perched on the edge of the tub, a silent witness to countless moments. In a moment of impulse, I seized it and hurled it toward Timmy. It struck him squarely in the chest, momentarily stealing his concentration away. In that fleeting moment, I broke free from his grasp and emerged from the tub. Yet the water churned violently, and my legs felt unsteady beneath me. "Nainoto, don't run away from me," Timmy exclaimed, his voice laced with frustration. As he took a step forward, a vibrant new light sparkled in his eyes. I returned, gripped by an overwhelming fear. He had transcended mere attempts to instill fear within me. His intentions were to cause me pain. My mind was a whirlwind, searching for an escape route. Trapped between the confines of the bathroom and the unknown lurking beyond, I felt the weight of danger pressing down on me. The choice to flee into the rest of the house was fraught with peril, yet remaining where I was seemed equally treacherous. 9:28 Imagine if he pursued me relentlessly? What if I lacked the strength to intervene? Fear enveloped me as I clutched the towel, wrapping it around myself in a desperate attempt to find solace, yet it offered no comfort at all. With unwavering resolve, Timmy advanced another step closer to me. In his gaze, fear was absent, replaced instead by a chilling, unyielding composure. 9:49, I pleaded softly, my voice trembling with emotion. This does not reflect who you are. I'm not sure what swept through you. Timmy remained silent when I pleaded, please stop, as he reached out once more. His grip tightened around my arm with such force that I feared it might shatter. Before I had a chance to escape, in that instant, the weight of my fear was overwhelming. A tide of emotion that threatened to engulf me. It was as if my words floated into the air, unheard and unacknowledged by him. 10:14, it was as if the boy I once knew had vanished, leaving behind a shadowy figure, ominous and threatening, in his stead. Suddenly, a vivid recollection surfaced in my mind. It lingered in the distance, a whisper of something profound, as if it possessed the secret to unraveling the mysteries at hand. As I reflected on the peculiar behavior Timmy had displayed a few weeks prior, a sense of intrigue washed over me. Whispers of peculiar dreams, odd behaviors, and a shift in his demeanor floated through conversations, yet at that moment, they were met with little more than fleeting curiosity. 10:42, at last, everything falls into place. He had not merely departed. In a peculiar chapter of his life, an unusual event had unfolded for him. The time had come for me to depart. I knew I had to navigate this journey. The faint echoes of my sister's voice drifted through the door, but the distance kept me from reaching her in time. In the midst of the battle, it was just Timmy and me standing our ground. My strength surged, fueled by the fear that gripped my heart. 11:04, I had to battle against all odds. With every ounce of determination coursing through me, I wrenched my arm away from Timmy's hold. As I shoved him away, a fleeting sense of liberation washed over me. In an instant, he leaped ahead with a swiftness that caught me completely off guard. His hand encircled my wrist, drawing me back toward him with a strength that seemed almost otherworldly. 11:26, I seized the shampoo bottle once more, transforming it into a makeshift weapon, and struck it against his face, hoping to disorient him just enough to make my escape. He faltered, a flicker of bewilderment crossing his face, but soon his gaze sharpened, igniting with a chilling resolve. What compels you to resist? Timmy inquired. His voice carried a peculiar serenity, as if he were weaving a tale of reprimand. You belong to me. 11:52, my heart has always belonged to you. With a slight easing of his grip, I seized that fleeting opportunity. I leaped from the tub, swathing myself in a towel, undeterred by the chill that enveloped the room. My legs trembled, yet a surge of adrenaline coursed through my veins. With each hurried step, my heart raced, pounding in my chest as I approached the bathroom door. I found myself needing to let him be on his own. 12:14, the weight of what had consumed Timmy was beyond my capacity to bear alone. As I flung the door wide, there stood my sister, drawn in by the commotion. Her eyes were wide with fear, yet the moment left no room for words of comfort. Words slipped away like sand through fingers, leaving no moment to speak. Jack, I called out, my voice echoing through the air. Yet, when I spun around, he had vanished. The bathroom stood silent and still, as if untouched by the events that had just unfolded. Its emptiness a stark contrast to the chaos that had transpired. At the stroke of 12:38, my sister hurried to me, but I found myself at a loss for words, unable to convey the whirlwind of sensations and visions that had just unfolded, for they were beyond comprehension. The once playful and adorable Timmy had vanished, leaving behind only echoes of his laughter. He had transformed into something dark. While my sister endeavored to lift my spirits, I noticed a fleeting shadow of Timmy observing from the hallway. 13 o'clock, in the soft glow of the fading light, His deep-set eyes glimmered with an unsettling intensity, leaving me with an eerie sense that he was watching me closely. Uncertainty loomed ahead, yet one truth stood unwavering. The tale was far from its conclusion. The days unfolded with an increasing sense of the bizarre. Though the house carried an air of change, and Timmy's actions grew increasingly erratic, the others remained blissfully unaware. 1323 My sister dismissed my concerns, calling me crazy or overthinking things when I tried to share what had transpired. Despite my genuine worry, yet deep within me, I sensed that Timmy had transcended the bounds of ordinary childhood. From that moment on, a sense of unease settled within me, for I understood that the shadows consuming Timmy were not something that could be extinguished with mere light. I held a deep conviction that, in due time, others would come to recognize the truth. Yet I feared it might be too late by that moment. 1349 If you wish to uncover the unfolding tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. The tale is far from finished. There remains a vast expanse to